Okay, we are live now, and we're gonna try to do a different way. We've been trying to talk with all the Indian supporters from Indian Super League. Guys, thanks for joining us. In just a few seconds, we're gonna try to join the Indian Super League account, where we'll discuss a little bit about Indian football, Europe football, world football. So I hope that you guys can watch and ask your questions. Let's see if you have. Hello, Aleroy, Murphys. Hello, Data, Crazy. I don't know what is happening. My missus say something. I don't know what he's saying. Okay. Okay. Then I cannot clap. Hello to Panathinaikos. Let's see, are you there, guys? Let me see if you're there. Not yet. See if we can do it now. Hello, Sanju. How about
we
that?
got you.
Yes.
See, this is how tables have turned, Luis. You are threatening our jobs as presenters because you've been doing so many live sessions that now we have to get you on. We have to get ourselves on your live session. This is fantastic.
I'm so sorry. I don't know what's happening. To be honest, it happened to me another time. But I mean, well, you were just saying we were doing a few lives and it's been working very good lately. So anyway,
yeah,
you're live. So
no, absolutely. Thank you so much, by the way, for doing it the other way around. And I've been noticing your live sessions as well. Yesterday, I logged on to your live session, just like I have today from the Indian Super League handle. And you were wearing the Del Piero jersey from Delhi Dynamos in the first part of that session. What's this whole Instagram live story all about? How are you keeping yourself busy and entertained?
Yes, perfect. Thanks for asking. Well, first of all, now that we are set and people is here, I hope that you are well with all this situation and safe because, well, as you know, world is changing a little bit, and with this virus is struggling us a little bit, but glad to see you all good. So wishing all the best for the next what is coming. And talking about the stories that I've been doing, it was about because I received so many questions about my jersey collection, and during a few lives I was explaining a little bit some of my favorite ones, and we've been doing it every Monday and Thursday. Actually, next Thursday is going to be the last one. We've been giving away some of my career jerseys. And yes, it was about that, explain a little bit. And Del Piero was one of those special players that happened to cross through my career. And I want to talk a little bit about the experience when he gave me the jersey back there in Indian Super League. And we'll talk a little bit. Actually, look, I got here to show you. This is the two jerseys from the final.
The final.
Yes, these are the two jerseys from the final back in 2014. That I got here. This is not actually from one of the final. This is from Yumi.
We know that guy.
You have it there, and he's a big Liverpool supporter, and of course the ATK.
Yeah.
That I have them here. So yeah, it was about that. The story behind that we've been doing a few lives.
Interesting, right? Ian, we were live with Ian Hume a couple of days ago, and he's somebody who went from Kerala to ATK, won a title with ATK, and then came back to Kerala as well. So quite a story for the ISL. But we'll stick to your story, Luis, because you've been such a journeyman footballer yourself. I mean, you've been to Greece, Mexico, Australia, of course, India as well in the ISL. But tell us about some of the days in the beginning. When you started out playing football, then going to La Masia and playing with some of the names that were going to be shaping the way football was going to be perceived in Europe.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, I signed for La Masia back in when I was 17, almost 18. And I started growing, like you said, and training with some of those fantastic players that at the time, they were just young kids as me, trying to make the road to a football career. And I remember that probably the top players, they were Xavi Hernandez, that he became probably one of the best midfielders in the history of football. And he was and is still a good friend of mine. And we spent 4 years together in La Masia with Puyol, with Gabri, and some other players that after that start signing for first team clubs. But it was about that. Trying to use that experience of play in that kind of facilities with Barcelona, with the philosophy of Barcelona, of having the ball, get used to it, the movements. And actually, I think those were the most important years of my career, because made me develop my football to a certain level that allowed me after to play in first division.
Yeah, but it's interesting, right? Because I remember reading some of your early interviews, and there was a mention of a player called Mario Rosas, and it's interesting because I did, because there's so many players, Luis, like yourself, like Xavi, like Iniesta, who come to academies, but not everybody makes it. What would your advice be to some of these Indian, fans watching, young footballers watching this as well, who go into academies but sometimes don't take the right steps after graduating from those academies?
Yeah, fantastic. That's fantastic that you asked that, because it's true. I mean, when I was 17, some of my friends, they thought you're not going to make it, because now it looks like when you are 17, 18, you haven't reached your highest level, maybe you're not going to have the chance of becoming football players. And one of my advice is to never give up, because a chance of becoming football player can come in just one game. One game that you make the difference. Actually, I know that you heard about the story of Mario Rosas, that he was probably the best player in our generation, and he didn't make it until the level that we thought that he will arrive. He played in first division a year after second division. But I'm going to give you another story that it happens to me, because when I signed for Barcelona, I did a training session from a week. And from my team, San Gabriel, that it was the team that I was playing for, during that week, two players, we went there to train. My mate, that's still my mate after 25 years, he was probably the best player of our team. We went there, and in one game, he didn't touch the ball. He wasn't involved too much, and I was decent. I did well. And that was the difference to sign for Barcelona or not sign for Barcelona. He kept playing to the team that we were playing, and then I had my career launch for the next level. And well, it's just one game who can make the difference on a career as player.
It's fantastic. It's intriguing how sometimes careers are shaped by small decisions that you take at the right, also about being in the right place at the right time as well. And you would have been quite grateful that Rafa Benitez, who you knew from Tenerife, I think gave you a call and called you to Liverpool, and that's why it must have been an easier decision. But what was it like when you first arrived in England? Because it's so different from Spain, from the tactical side to suddenly seeing so much physical football.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't easy at all. Actually, I struggled quite a bit in the first few months because the rain, the cold, like you say, the games were so physical. A lot of going forward, going back, going forward for a long period. So for a kind of player that it was more about keeping the ball, make skills, try to arrive to the box. It was quite difficult. I'm 70 kilos now. I was 67 back then. As you can imagine, playing against Rio Ferdinand, John Terry, this kind of player that they are 185, 90 with 90 kilos. It was quite difficult, but I tried to adapt my game to this kind of situation, try to put a little bit to speed into the game, and well, actually, it helped me a lot.
Yeah, fantastic, because you adjusted very well, and then obviously came that big season in the when Liverpool went on to win the Champions League, and I want to touch upon that straight away because so many questions have come in about the Champions League, but not a lot of people know that you were actually the top goal scorer in the Champions League for Liverpool that season, and you scored all your goals in the knockout games, including starting from the game against Juventus. So what was it like just being among some of those players in that Liverpool camp, Luis? And tell us what was the mentality like, because that was a side that had a lot of self-belief.
Yeah, definitely. I think in our occasion, if you compare Liverpool at the moment and our Liverpool 2018-19 when they won the sixth trophy, if you compare those two sides, you can see that on the side of Liverpool, the current team, you can see so many stars with Firmino, Salah, Mane, Henderson, Van Dijk, Alisson. You got Alexander-Arnold, top players at the highest level on their careers. in our time, there was no big stars. It was Steven Gerrard that probably was the leader and the heart of the team. We have good defenders like Carragher and Hipia at the front. We had Harry Kewell, Cisse, Milan Barros. But I think, well, Xabi Alonso, a young Xabi Alonso. But the most important for us, it was that we had a fantastic team spirit. We fought for each other. We were all the time trying to help each other when we were on the pitch and out on the pitch. And that led us to become a very difficult team to beat. And we managed to go through all the knockout stages, trying with that mentality, be very strong at the back, be all together, and then with the technique and quality that we got up front, try to score as many goals as possible. And well, it did work very well.
Well, it certainly did, because that was some night in Istanbul. But I've always wanted to ask you this, even when we've had you in some of our shows back in India, when you've come here for LFC World and things like that. It's what I wanted to know about the talk at halftime when you were 3-0 down, because I remember reading one of your interviews. You said you were coming out of the tunnel and you could see smiles on the faces of a lot of Milan players. It's almost like they were in celebration that the trophy was already theirs. But what was the chat in the Liverpool dressing room that inspired possibly one of the greatest comebacks? Well, definitely one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the competition.
Yeah, it wasn't much about the shoot but I mean, it's true that we saw Milan players laughing. Of course, we wouldn't. I mean, they were winning 3-0 in the Champions League final at halftime, yeah. So I will have been also enjoying my time. But for us, I think the most important was arriving to the dressing room at halftime. It was quite quiet, everything, and no one wanted to give any shout or try to point any of the players, because at the end, I think we did a decent game. But they were just too good. I mean, every time that they got the ball and they did those fast transition from the back to forward, they were just so good. But I think just when Rafa Benitez started talking about, listen, guys, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna change this player, this one was gonna be at the front, then Didi Hamann is gonna come into the middle. When you realize that your manager is already getting ready the second half, actually, you forget a little bit about what happened in the first half, because you are focused on what is going to happen in the next one. And just to see the manager, Rafa Benitez, believe that maybe there is a small, tiny possibility, made us, because we thought that it was already done, that there was no chance for us to get back. But, well, those changes made a little bit of difference, because Gerrard was playing in the middle, and he put Gerrard at the front, and he scored the first one. And Smither, who came inside, scored the second one. Yeah. So you start believing, listen, maybe the manager was right, and we had a slightly opportunity. And well, we grabbed it with our hands.
And you know, I can see Borja is also logged on to the Instagram live, and I'm so tempted to ask you about ISL and your time in Kolkata, but I've got to finish the conversation about the Champions League. At what stage did you start believing that this is on? And eventually you didn't take the penalty either, right? And I think famously you said that if you were to take it, you would have been the 6th penalty taker, and you would have probably gone for a Panenka.
I don't think so. Maybe I said it just for fun, but I don't think that I would try a Panenka in the Champions League final. I really don't know, but I don't think so. Yeah, it's true. First of all, that we start believing. I think in Ismail's goal, I think then that moment we thought, oh, it's one more goal. Just let's go for it, because kind of Milan players start going back, dropping back. Like they were looking at each other. They were start blaming to each other. I remember Gattuso blaming to other players to wake up. And that's the moment where you realize that you have a chance, that you have an opportunity to maybe keep going and score the third one. And one is level. Anything can happen, and well, that's what we tried, and well, arrived the penalty for Steven Gerrard, the Xabi Alonso score, and well, the rest is history. And for the penalty, it's true that I asked a couple of times, even in the one of the game, that it was made for Gerrard. I wanted to take it, but they didn't let me do it. And well, Rafa said, if there is a 6, you will take it, and well, no chance for us to take the 6.
Well, as long as you got the trophy and the winner's medal, I'm sure you're not complaining about the penalty at all. But although ATK did have to go to penalties in the 3rd season when they became champions for the 2nd time, we'll talk about that in a bit as well. I've got to ask you about the famous celebration, after the ghost goal went in. I remember you posting a couple of days ago an imitation of that ghost goal with your kids. Now that's something that obviously a lot of fans ask you about. But I wanted to know something different. I wanted to know what was it like when you interacted with, say, Jose Mourinho or Chelsea players who were on the pitch or watched it. What was the reaction like, and what's the banter like with these guys every time the ghost goal comes up?
Yeah, exactly. I was watching yesterday a clip from last year when Mourinho was talking about the Barcelona and Liverpool game, that it was needing a miracle. And he mentioned as well that Liverpool never won a semi-final because Luis Garcia ghost goal, it wasn't in. And that was 1 year ago. So it means 14 years they still remember that game. And I think I've been with Galas, I've been with Terry, I've been with some of the guys that play in that semi-final in different events. And at the end, it's something that is going to be with us for the rest of our life, probably, if we talk about semi-final, because semi-finals are always there. And it doesn't matter who is involved, but that goal always comes out. And I think that's a beautiful of football, that we can continue talking about that goal, because Chelsea fans will never say that it was in, and Liverpool fans won't care about what they say, because at the end we went to the final. So it's fantastic we can have the chance of talking about that.
It's fantastic that you take it so well, because I'm sure you get a lot of stick from fans all over, and a lot of fans have asked. Rhythm Day has also asked a question about the same thing.
But that's fun. I mean, at the end, it's good that controversy. Hopefully, VAR doesn't take away.
Fantastic, Luis. And of course, the Spanish national team as well. You've played alongside some stalwarts. The Spanish team that went on to achieve great things from 2008 and 2012 in the Euros and 2010 in the World Cup. You played alongside some of these guys when they were in the making, when they were setting the foundation for the bigger things to come for Spain. What was the experience like playing for the national team alongside some of these giants of world football?
Yeah, well, as you can imagine, for a player to play for the national team is one of the biggest things that can happen in your career. And I have the chance of playing the World Cup 2006 and the qualification of 2008, just before the injury. And I remember when Andres Iniesta, Cesc Fabregas were arriving to that team. They had few minutes in the World Cup, and they were leading to the 2008, and they were probably two of the most important players in that trophy 2008, with Xavi, of course. But Xavi, he was already involved. Xavi Alonso, they were already involved 2006. So you knew that these players will change the way of watching football, because normally we think that football is about running and physical and athletes, and there were none of that. Fabregas wasn't quick, Iniesta wasn't strong, after Silva, after Cazorla, so all those kind of players they were leading the next football generation. It was just fantastic to see them play and train, because they have that passion plus the talent that they have from the younger ages.
Yeah, we'll recap some memories as well. I'll have a rapid fire round for you, not too long away from now, where we'll recap some of your memories of playing for Spain. But I've got apart from playing with some of these legends in the Spanish national team, some legends actually followed you to India. You hung up your boots in 2014, and then the Indian Super League happened, and you decided to come back on. So Bivangshu had a question. What was the drive that brought you to India and the ISL, and basically coming out of retirement to play football again competitively?
Well, actually, a couple of things. First of all, that I was missing so much football. I was missing so much. I decided to retire, but when Atletico Madrid asked me to join Atletico Kolkata, you remember it was a franchise from Atletico Madrid. I spoke with the family. I said, listen, this is an opportunity. I haven't never been scared of challenges like this, or like moving to, like you mentioned before, 4 different continents in my career and so many different countries. So it was a challenge. It was a change of country, that it is a totally different culture of ours, and that's something that I wanted to live as well. And after a couple of days, we signed the contract, and I was just looking forward to join Atletico Kolkata in the preseason.
There's a question from Football Corner. They asked, how was the atmosphere of Kolkata? Because you were playing at one of the most iconic stadiums that are present today in Indian football, at the Salt Lake.
Actually, one of the best games that I played in my career, I have to say that it was the opening ceremony at the Salt Lake Stadium. It was just amazing. I think it was around 80,000 people with these kind of presentations, kind of the Super Bowl with the fireworks, all the marquee players from all the different teams. I think it was fantastic, and I enjoyed it very much just because we had our home supporters as well. So it was fantastic.
And what was it like, playing alongside, or should we say playing against people like Del Piero? You watch Materazzi, Perez was playing for FC Goa,
Yeah.
Anelka, I think, was with Mumbai. Cap de Villa was at Northeast United FC.
Yes.
Some big names in world football. And suddenly
Yes.
you find yourself in an opposite team to them.
No, fantastic. I mean, I play against most of them, and some of them they were teammates, and it was fantastic because we could share because in all the different areas in India, there is different culture, different ways of doing things, different celebrations, and we could share some of that into the pitch, and also enjoy a different style of playing because it was very hot, very humid, and suddenly it was cold.
Yeah.
If you go to Northeast and if you go to Goa, it's different. So it was a fantastic experience, I have to say.
Yeah, and I can't contest that because you have come to India a couple of times, so I'm sure you enjoyed your stint here. There's a question from Saha Agniban who asked your views about Antonio Lopez. Habas, was it easier for you, Luis, because he was a Spanish coach and he spoke your first language?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely, at the end, is a lot easier when you can connect with your coach and say that and try to also we were trying to get our adaptation with the coach and the Indian players.
Yeah.
So, and it was quite easier having a few different, because it was Borja, it was Arnal, Josemi. We have a few Jofra that we had a fantastic connection in between us with the coach and also with the rest of the Indian players and other foreigners. So it was a lot easier, the experience with a Spanish coach.
All right, now speaking of Spain and Spanish football, I've got a segment on Let's Football Live which we call Tikitaka, where I give you short, sharp clues and you have to, find the target. So I'm going to ask you to guess the player. I'm going to give you clues. If you get it right the first time, you're a genius. If you get it right the second time, you're still very good. And there's no bad, basically. So I'll try and give you as many clues as possible, right? So you have to guess the player. This is obviously from a Hero Indian Super League point of view. So let's see if you can guess them. The first clue for the first player is, I held the record for the most number of appearances for an ATK player until an Indian broke that record this season.
ATK?
Yeah. I held the record for the most number of appearances for an ATK player.
Borja?
Well done, sir. First one, and you got it right. The second clue for Borja would have been, he's the only other Spanish captain to win the Hero ISL. So, that would have been, so that's you and Borja to do it now. Perfect. Right, the second player I'm looking for. The first clue for that is, I have played alongside you in the Spanish national team and faced you twice in the Hero ISL.
Capdevila.
I'm just trying to see if you can see my little notes over here because you got the two right. Maybe this one will be harder, Luis. This is the third and final one in our Tiki-Taka round. I kept the first clean sheet in the Hero ISL.
Wow, tough, very tough. Clean sheet. Next clue.
The next clue is, so let me just help you out a little bit over here. ATK played the opening game against Mumbai City FC, and the score was 3-0. Okay, I'm the only goalkeeper to play for 6 clubs in 6 different ISL seasons.
Oh, Jesus Christ! Sign.
Okay, it's a goalkeeper you will know very well because he's from your team.
Yeah, I know. But hold on. It's talking about what was the name? Yeah, I know.
I played alongside you in the. you can recognize his face, right? Immediately.
I can't remember the name.
No worries.
Give me another clue. Let's see if I can find the name, because I got it here. I'm at home, but I can't remember.
Okay, his first name starts with S, and his surname is with C.
C is a sign.
See, this is fun. Putting you to test here a little bit.
He will kill me if he see me.
Yeah, that's it. You're there. You're almost there.
Yeah, I know, but I can't. I can't remember. Never mind. I'll send you. Say again.
Subhashish Roy Chaudhary.
Subhashi. Oh my God, Subhashi. Yes. Subhashi. Yes. Good fantastic player and great guy. Yeah.
Do you have memories of that first game playing against Mumbai City FC in particular?
Yes, definitely. I remember it was different for us because normally when you are gonna play a game, you normally are 1 hour and a half before in the dressing room. You get ready, you focus, and then. But I was on the pitch until maybe 20 minutes before the game that we finished. I had to get in, go and start the warm up with the rest of my teammates and straight to the game. So it was like a bit weird, but it was fantastic. Also, my family was there. All my kids, my wife enjoyed that game. So it was a fantastic experience.
All right, let's play another round that we have, which is called One Touch Let's Football. Okay, where you're only allowed to answer in one word or one sentence at the maximum. Okay. So let's see. We'll try and make it as rapid as possible. Right, ready for this?
Go ahead.
One touch. Let's football. Barcelona or Liverpool?
Barcelona.
Goal against Juventus or hat-trick against Slovakia?
Juventus.
All right, Iniesta or Xavi?
Oh, those are tough. Xavi.
Okay, Salah or Mane?
Mane.
Gerrard or Carragher?
Gerrard. That's easy.
Gerrard or Torres?
Gerrard.
Okay, Frank Rijkaard or Rafa Benitez?
Rafa. Yes.
All right, Borja Fernandez or Joffrey Mateo?
Jofra. Borja, if you are watching, I'm so sorry, but Jofra, he was my teammate from Barcelona.
Fair enough. Okay, Pele or Maradona? This should be simple.
Maradona.
Messi or Ronaldo?
Messi.
Okay, Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium in Kochi in Kerala or the Salt Lake Stadium in Kolkata?
Salt Lake Stadium, all the way.
All right, working out at a beach or working out at the gym?
On the beach in Goa.
Throwing your kids in a swimming pool for their first swim or trying to imitate the ghost goal with them?
Try to imitate the ghost goal. It was so fun. I can tell you that.
Fabulous. I've been watching your Instagram, you see. So playing for a club or playing for the national team, what would you rate higher?
Ooh, that's tough. That's very tough. It depends on the club and it depends of I'll say the national team. I think is very important for a player to play for your national team. That's because you're doing well as a footballer.
Fantastic. You've done ever so well in this rapid fire round, which we call One Touch Let's Football. I'll ask you a few more questions that the fans sent and have been sending on the chat as well, Luis. Ashik CR7 wanted to know who's your childhood hero, your first childhood football hero, if you want to name one.
Yes, it was Michael Laudrup. He was playing for Barcelona, and after he played for Real Madrid, and he was fantastic. Yeah. I grew up watching him, partnership with Romario and Michael Laudrup, and I tried to imitate every move that he was doing.
What a player and a good coach as well. I remember seeing him at Swansea.
Swansea did very well.
Yeah, that's right. Then Siddharth Singh Tanwar, 1999, had a question. Your favorite centre forward of all time?
Ronaldo Nazario.
The phenomenon. Okay. Yes. Okay. Then Sam11KP2 Singh says, favorite Spanish player who's currently playing?
Who what?
Favorite Spanish player who's still playing? Somebody who's still playing?
They're still playing. Spanish player, I will say Iniesta. He's in Japan, but still playing.
Okay, correct. Yeah, technically he's still playing. Superpower Football and Sugit Stromer both had the same question. What was your best moment in the ISL? Apart from winning the trophy, of course.
Apart from winning the trophy.
Apart from winning the trophy,
good question. I think, probably the first game or the gaming. I think I enjoyed very much playing Kerala. It was a fantastic game because of the atmosphere. Actually, Kerala Blasters, they do very well. The atmosphere at Kerala is fantastic, and I enjoy it. Even though I remember the grass was quite hard, but I remember that we enjoyed very much the game.
Do you know that history almost repeated itself at Kerala? I don't know if you have memories of a goal that wasn't allowed, Luis.
Yes,
Tell us a little bit about it. Do you remember that?
And after the game, I told the DJ because I saw the ball going in. I said, mate, that was in. And he said, no, I didn't. I said, you couldn't see it because it was from your back because it hit the bar and went back.
Yeah.
And, it was in. And it was a very important goal for us. But well, anyway, it was a great game.
Yeah, maybe we'll do an imitation of that over here as well. That could be fun. Okay, one more question. Mahitosh Mighty says, the toughest defender that you faced in your career and in the ISL, if you can remember.
Defender, I will say, for example, for me in the ISL, easy because it was Materazzi there, so I wasn't even near him. I saw he was playing in the midfield. If you remember, he wasn't playing at the back. He was playing as a center midfielder, and I was playing as a playmaker, so near. And when I play against him, I was moving on the side to try to not get near him because I was so scared of him. And in my career, there is a few. I mean, I play against Sergio Ramos. I play against Rio Ferdinand, against John Terry, Carvalho. They were very tough players. Cannavaro when we play against Juventus. So they are very difficult ones. I would say one is John Terry because it was quite difficult to play, and I played so many times in England against him.
So I'm sure that makes Chelsea fans very happy. But you spoke of Materazzi and trying to stay away from him as much as possible. I remember you telling a story of how when you first came to English football, you'd get punched on your elbow a few times, so you had to run away, do 5-meter sprints so that you would get away from your marker as much as possible. But what is this theory about you not being 5'7", even though the famous Liverpool chant always keeps calling you, you're 5'7", you're football heaven?
I guess it's I'm a little bit taller, 5'7", but I guess it was perfect for the rhythm of the song, and well, actually one of the best songs that the Liverpool have done. The Liverpool supporters have done, and I'm so proud to have them. And also sometimes they still sing it. So there is so many Liverpool supporters in India. Every time that I was moving all around in Mumbai, Delhi, go everywhere, all the cities, there were always some Liverpool supporters arriving with a big banner. So I want to send a big hug to all of them because there is so many Indian supporters over there.
And you do like your sangria with fresh fruits?
I do. Yes,
right?
It's fantastic.
All right, we'll come to the next question from Prashant R, who asks, will you come back as a coach in the ISL? That's an interesting one.
I don't know. To be honest, when I was finishing in ATK, the owners asked me if I would like to go back again as a player coach, but I didn't have my badges. Now I'm finishing my A license, and hopefully I can finish it this year. Next year I will have my pro license. And I don't know, maybe, who knows? At the moment, I'm open to new different things. I'm learning. I just finished a master with UEFA that allow me to understand how to manage a club. And, well, we'll see. At the moment, I'm enjoying learning things, and opportunities will come by itself.
Backheel goal in the A-League. Do you wanna answer that, Luis?
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm saying, do you want to answer that question about somebody asking you the backheel goal in the A-League?
Yeah, because I couldn't hear you about the backheel.
No
yeah, it was my first goal back there, and Australia was amazing. It was an amazing experience. Go there, different country, different style of playing football, and suddenly that opportunity came on, and I grabbed the ball. I saw the ball, the keeper maybe leaving the ball. I tried to anticipate, and the ball was there. I have to do it quick before the keeper stood up, and I hit it. And actually, it was one of the nicest goals I ever scored. Difficult one. That's
good. Fond memories, isn't it? Now Australia comes under the AFC as well, Luis. So yeah, I had a question that I wanted you to answer about. Because of your experience of playing in the Champions League, obviously the AFC Champions League is very different. And now the Hero Indian Super League is structured in a way that the team that is the designated league winner at the end of 18 games gets a direct entry into the AFC Champions League.
Yeah.
What's it like? I mean, you played in teams that have had such a winning mentality. What's it like when you're looking to compete in some of these, top tier competitions in the continent? What advice would you give to teams, trying to get into that competition now through the ISL?
No, to enjoy. I think when a chance like this one arrives, the only thing that you can do is enjoy. That means that you've done a great job, winning your competition, and you are one in the most watched competitions in Asia. So the most important is to don't change many things, because if you try to change what you've been doing and you've been doing right, if you try to do different, maybe it's not going to work. So the most important is to focus on what you've been doing so well and trying to slightly adapt to that competition, because you know that you can be out in any second. So try to adapt to that competition, but don't change many things. I think I can't wait to see what is going to happen, but it's quite exciting to see more teams playing that competition.
Also, a lot of things have changed in Indian football since you came to India. I mean, one thing hasn't changed. Habas is still winning trophies over here. ATK have now won 3 titles. But the one thing that has changed is the number of foreigners in a squad, and in the playing 11, in the starting 11 have reduced. So in your time, it was 6 foreigners and 5 Indians that you had to have. Now it's the other way around. So you need to have a minimum of 6 Indians playing in any 11. Is it Sarat Chandra Dash actually had a question? He's saying, what should be the number of foreign players in the playing 11? Do you think as India looks to progress in football, should that number be going down, quality over quantity?
Yeah, it will be going down. I think that you cannot rush things up, because again, if the things that you've been doing, I think this year who was the best player of the season, it was Sumit Rathi, was the best player of the season of
Young
ATK.
player, yes.
The young player, the emerging player.
Yeah.
So that means that you have been doing right this season. So if you suddenly say, okay, now only 2 foreigners. I mean, foreigners are there to help the league grow up, to help young players imitate the Indian players, and that's been working very well. So I wouldn't change straight away, no, from 6 to 3, but that the competition is going to ask you to drop that number. And now it's 5, and maybe in a couple more years it will be 4. And then at the end, it will be kind of what is happening in Europe. You can sign maybe 3 only players, foreign players, and also that they can make the difference. That means that those players have the level of being in a big competition before. So there is no random things. And then you improve the level of the competition. So at the end, the league will tell you what to do. At the moment, I think they've been doing fantastic, and one more player in the 11 is a great chance to see more Indian players play.
And finally, do you get a chance to meet people like Borja and Jofra, and or interact with them and discuss your time at the ISL?
I'm gonna tell you something. We still having, how long it's been? 5, 6 years. Okay.
6 years, yeah.
We're still having, I can tell you that, and I'm sure if it's Borja around, I don't think there is already joining us, but we're still having a WhatsApp group that it says Kolkatianos, that it means from Kolkata. And we are all the players we made it there back in 2014, and we still having it, and we are all in contact. I see more Jofra and Borja, because Borja lives in Madrid and moves sometimes because he was playing for Valladolid. I see Jofra a lot more because I travel to Barcelona and we meet there. But with Josemi, Arnal, we talk almost every week, or we send this WhatsApp group jokes and stuff. But we are in contact. Yeah. So Basilio, I remember the name, Basilio. So we are all in contact, and that's fantastic. That's something that football gives you, those kind of friendships that they will last long for your life.
It's been a great session, Luis. Thank you so much for doing it the other way around. Finally, your message to the fans who've tuned in from Kerala, from Tamil Nadu, Goa, Northeast, and of course, Kolkata as well.
Nothing. I really appreciate this life. I enjoy very much that Indian football is still getting bigger and bigger every single year. I follow from here. Now the league is more competitive than ever. And that people start looking to India more often from here in Europe. I can tell you that. And nothing that wish them all the best for the new competition. And I'll be there very soon. So hopefully this situation finish, and I can visit you guys over there, and nothing. We can say we're waiting for a lot of Fata football.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you so much. The haircut is looking great. Your Instagram live sessions are very entertaining.
5 o'clock on Thursday, because I'm going to give away another of my jerseys. So 5 o'clock will be live again.
Fabulous. Thank you so much for doing this, Luis.
Guys.
Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll chat soon again. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye-bye.